Hi, this is Jason Wayne with Louisiana Cooking. Today we're going to talk about making a gumbo base. And when I say gumbo base, I mean the basic ingredients you need to put together any gumbo. From this recipe, you can make filet or okra gumbo, you can have a seafood gumbo, you can have a chicken and sausage gumbo, whatever you want to do, but you have to have this basic recipe to start with gumbo. Now, if you don't have these ingredients, you might have a great soup or you might have a great stew, but I really don't think you'd better call it gumbo. Now we start with the Trinity, what we call Holy Trinity in Louisiana. Celery, bell pepper, and onion. Almost every Louisiana dish has those three ingredients in it. And then garlic, lots of garlic. No self-respecting Cajun or Creole cook would have a kitchen without garlic in it. Salt and pepper, Creole seasoning. I like to use Tony Chachere. It's pretty popular. You can find it in just about any grocery store across America. And you have to pronounce it Tony Chachere. If you don't, we'll know you're not actually from Louisiana. Cayenne pepper. Louisiana cooking is not about how hot you can get the food, but how much flavor you can get into your food, how deep the flavors are. But if you like your food blazing hot, go ahead and dump a whole bunch of cayenne pepper in there if you like. It's up to you. Peanut oil for the roux. I like the peanut oil because it has a very high flash point. Some people might use butter or some kind of lard. Don't have as high a flash point, and I don't think they add any extra flavor to the gumbo in the end. Flour. You can use all-purpose flour and about a cup to start with. Like I said, all these amounts are relative. You can add more or less, but you at least need these basic ingredients and then some kind of stock. I use about a gallon to start with because this is going to make a very big pot of gumbo. You can use beef stock, chicken stock, whatever you want. But, you know, the stock adds a lot more flavor to the gumbo than just plain water. This is a picture of the, like I said, celery, bell pepper, and onion. I like to leave the leaves on the celery. Just gives it a little bit more flavor, I think. And then, of course, garlic. I like to smash my garlic up. I don't like to mince it. I like to make sure all the oil is released. That way it gives it a more intense garlic flavor. And this is the way I like to prepare the Trinity before I start cooking. I don't like to have big chunks of celery, bell pepper, or onion in the gumbo while I'm eating it, so I mince them very finely. Next thing to do is to start your roux. This is what roux starts off looking like before it starts to cook. Of course, it's the color of the flour, and it's going to be kind of fluid. You want to be sure you use a very heavy pot or skillet, something with a thick bottom to it, because you can very easily burn your roux if you're not careful. And you're going to have to stir it constantly. You can't walk away from it. You can't take your eye off of it, and you can't slow down stirring. As it cooks, it's going to get darker and darker. So this is about halfway through. I like mine a little darker, and as it continues to cook, you have to continue to keep a very close eye on it. I don't think I can say that enough. And then it gets darker and darker. And this is the consistency and the color I like to have my roux. A nice brown color. This is what I consider a gumbo, a roux for a Creole gumbo. A Cajun gumbo traditionally is going to have a lot darker roux. It's going to be a dark brown, maybe even black. That kind of roux you have to really pay attention to, because the more you cook it, the easier it is to burn. Now you want to have this paste kind of consistency when you finish your roux, because if you don't and it's kind of runny, then after you finish cooking your gumbo, some of the oil will actually separate from the flour, and you'll have a little oil on top of your gumbo, and you definitely don't want that. You can buy roux bought off the store shelf. I like to make it myself, stay a little bit more traditional that way. But certainly, if you want to buy your roux, you can, but by all means, you have to have the roux in there. And then you take your Trinity, you put it in the roux while it's still hot, and let that saute until those vegetables start to get tender. That's all you want them to do, is just get a little tender. After that, you're ready to add the roux and the Trinity mixture to your stock pot. Now this picture already has chicken and sausage in it, but for the recipe, you'll just have the basic ingredients I'm telling you about. And you want to let that simmer for about 20 minutes to really incorporate all those flavors into that stock. And then after that, Then I would add my garlic, because I find if you add the garlic too soon, it will actually dissipate the taste of the garlic and it won't be prominent. Quick recap. Prepare your trinity, make your roux, saute the trinity in the roux until the vegetables are soft, add the trinity roux mixture to the stock, add your seasonings, your salt, pepper, Creole seasoning, and cayenne. Let it cook for about 20 minutes, then go ahead and add your garlic after that. And like I said, from this you can make any kind of gumbo, any kind of combination you like. This is Jason Wayne. Go now to louisianacooking.wordpress.com to get this recipe and other tips about Louisiana cooking.